Hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Jhona. This is JhonaOhEmGee. Today I will be reviewing Real Housewives of Potomac Season 7, Episode 2. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get right into this recap. Honestly, this whole episode was kind of a bore to me. I would rate it about a 4 out of 10. It just really wasn't exciting at all. It's kind of a snooze fest. So one thing I do want to know is in my last video I kept calling that girl Shanice. Her name is not Shanice. Okay, I know that now. It is Cherise, so I'll make sure I call her by her name from now on. So we kick off, of course, we know last episode we had a to be continued. So we start back off this episode at Karen's spring fling. Honestly, I have no idea why we had a to be continued. This whole last scene at the spring fling party was unnecessary. They really could have edited this whole scene out and the episode still would have been as boring as it still is. So I didn't think it was necessary, but we started this scene off. They're still talking about Mia's social media and the cancer conversation. So Robin makes sure she calls out the girls because they did make it seem like Robin and Giselle were the only ones that had something to say about Mia's social media. So Robin's like, y'all not gonna make it seem like it was just us two. Karen had something to say, Ashley had something to say, and Candace had something to say about Mia posting. Now, I did note that I thought it was strange that in this scene, Mia wasn't really kind of like speaking up for herself. I guess she felt like she didn't really need to, but her friend, whose name is Jacqueline, like I said in my last video, I knew we were going to see more of this girl. So Jacqueline was pretty much kind of speaking for Mia this whole time. So make sure we keep our eyes peeled for Jacqueline because she's definitely going to be a friend of now. So in walked Cherise to the party, who was not invited by Karen, by the way. She was a friend of Robin. I was like, ooh, Robin, there you go being messy because you know, obviously there's some tension between Cherise and Karen because Cherise walked up to Karen and asked her, you know, if they can get together, have a one-on-one. You could see it on Karen's face that she really didn't want to meet with the girl, but she agreed to it anyway. I was like, I don't know why Karen agreed. I knew they weren't going to be meeting up because you could see it on Karen's face. So yeah, Cherise came. And then we also have, if you remember from season 1, Katie Ross showed up to the party. Katie instantly went to Ray and started grabbing on Ray's butt. And I was like, okay, now, Katie, we don't need another Michael Darby on the scene, okay? Don't be grabbing on this man, but who's married, which I believe Katie's married as well. I know, I actually think she got a divorce. I'm not too sure. But yeah, grabbing on Ray's butt. But if you remember from last season, Ray did mention that out of all the ladies, he had a crush on Katie. So he was probably loving it. But anyway, one thing I do want to know, Candace's outfit at the spring fling was really, really nice. That all red, like suit, I thought that was really flattering on her. So Karen got up and made a speech about the Grand Dame is back, but all the ladies in their confessional was like, back from where? And I had the same sentiment. Where did you go? That whole speech Karen made was unnecessary. It just didn't make any sense. Anyway, like I said, that whole scene could have been deleted. It had no significance whatsoever, especially not coming from a to be continued. It made us, the viewers, think that, ooh, something juicy was about to happen. And I guess the juicy was that Cherise and Katie were there. Whoop-de-doo. They didn't add anything to the scene. Next scene is with Candace. Candace's sister is getting ready to build a house. So she is moving in with her and Chris temporarily. Candace did mention that she wants to get pregnant by the end of the year. And I'm not sure what year they're in while they're filming. It may be 2021 or it may have been earlier this year. So it's spring with the spring fling. So it may have been earlier this year. So let's keep an eye out, Candace. But of course, she is going through the IVF treatment, freezing her eggs, and she's using that as an insurance policy in case they don't get pregnant this year. So she has some eggs stored away. So now we go to Ashley. Ashley has a new friend, Deborah, who also has a cute little baby's cheeks were so cute. I love babies with big cheeks. Ashley mentioned that she's sleeping in the kids' room while I assume Michael is sleeping in the master. And child, I was like, oh, no, 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 ma'am. Wouldn't be me. I would definitely be sleeping in the master. Michael can go sleep with the kids. Or he can sleep on the couch. Or surely they have a guest bedroom. Surely, right? Anyway, it wouldn't be me, child. Ashley also stated that she doesn't think that Michael will wait long after their divorce to start dating. And I was like, duh. Michael didn't even wait to start dating while y'all were married. So, of course, he's not going to wait to start dating when y'all get divorced. Girl, duh. We didn't see Michael all in his boxers, grabbing on other people's booties. I mean, we know Michael ain't gonna wait to get down with the get down. Okay. Giselle meets up with Robin, and Robin is upset with Giselle because Giselle spilled the tea to Ashley and Karen that Juan's name isn't on the house. And I'm with Robin. I mean, that definitely wasn't Giselle's business to tell, but Giselle's so messy, she just can't help the mess that spills out. So, but I'm glad Robin did call her out on that and not just, kind of let it slide. So Robin was telling her that she had met up with Ashley earlier, and Ashley told Robin that Chris, Candace's husband, DM'd her or sent a reply via Instagram at 2:42 a.m. I'm going to go ahead and say 3 o'clock in the morning because 2:42 is closer than 3. It's closer to 3. So I'm going to say DM'd her at 3 o'clock in the morning. And inappropriate. The optics just don't look good for you, Chris. I don't really care what the reasoning is. I guess it just looks really weird that you're DMing somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning. That's not your wife. I'm sure it wasn't a flirtation kind of thing. We later on find out when Ashley meets up with Candace that it wasn't a flirtation kind of thing, but I still thought that was really inappropriate. But Robin, she was taking up for Chris like so much. I was like, girl, do you always give the men the benefit of the doubt? We know what kind of lady that could be, but we'll move on from there. But yeah, I don't care if it's a DM or reply. He shouldn't send anything at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's not a good look, I would say. Next we have a scene with Karen and Ray, and honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and move right on along past it because it was pretty boring. So anyway, we meet up with Mia and Gordon, and Mia's friend Jacqueline joins them for lunch or dinner, wherever they are. Mia says she still has some more tests to be done, so we're not sure on the status of her health at this moment. Mia also mentioned that Karen had sent her a text leading up to the spring fling party that the ladies were talking about her social media post. And I was like, ooh, look at Karen trying to save herself in the process because she knows she has something to say about Mia's social media post. Karen texting her while she's on the way, while Mia is on the way to the party. I was like, Karen ain't slick now. You gotta watch out for Karen. Karen is not slick. She knows what she be doing. But I'm like Mia. Mia said she had plenty of opportunity to have this conversation with me. Karen had came over Mia's house for her housewarming, and they stay literally 6 minutes away from each other. So she had plenty of time to tell her about the girls, but she chose to tell her right before because she knew that either Giselle or Robin, somebody was going to call Karen out because she liked to ride the fence sometimes. She did that maybe a couple seasons ago with Monique and Candace, but we won't get into that one. So Ashley meets up with Candace, right, to tell Candace about Chris DMing her. So I understand why Ashley decided to meet up with Candace to explain that. I think Ashley knows that her and Candace had a rather rocky friendship. I don't know if you can even call it a friendship, but relationship, some sort of relationship, right? It was really rocky. So I think Ashley kind of wanted to clear the air, and especially if it made her feel uncomfortable, which it would have made me feel uncomfortable as well, then I think that's okay for her to express that and at least get some clarification to why he would do that. And so it won't come up later. And you know with these girls, it's always going to come up later. So Ashley is laying it out on the line, and not telling it in the group, because she did say that Candace likes for information to be brought up to her one-on-one. So Ashley did respect that. And I guess they're trying to build a friendship. We'll see where it goes. I'll save my opinions. We'll just see where it goes. I can be optimistic. So, of course, Candace was taken aback, because she was like, wait, my husband? And she's like, yeah. But Candace says that Chris kind of always DMs her friends, because he is the manager of the bar that's inside the hotel. I guess it's like a rooftop or something. So he's looking to rebrand that. So, of course, having famous people or sort of famous people in the bar would be a good look for the business. So I can understand that. But I think the timing is where I have the biggest issue, because Chris could still DM Candace or reply, not Candace, Ashley could have still DM'd Ashley or replied to Ashley at 8 o'clock in the morning, and she would have had a completely different response than the 3 a.m. text. 3 a.m. is almost like side-eye times. 8 a.m. would have been completely fine. And all he had to say was, hey, I'm trying to rebrand this organization. You and your friends stop by the W, come have some drinks on the house. Boom. Right? 8 a.m., 3 a.m. The optics look bad at 3 a.m. in my opinion. Granted, all of this is my opinion, but so we go to Ashley. At this point, Ashley is hosting a heels class, and I just absolutely love when the ladies do like activities like this instead of just having drinks at the bar, because they can get really messy in there. But when they have like an activity, I thought everybody was so cute in their heels doing their little 8 count and 1 and 2 and 3. I don't remember the moves at all, but I thought it was so cute. So I really want them to do kind of more things like that, activities in that kind of nature. Everybody looked good. Giselle came in. I'm like, ooh, Giselle looks good for her age. How old is Giselle? I know she's like either 50 or pushing 50, like 47, 50 range, or maybe like 52. Karen's in her 60s, right? Or close to it. So she's not too far off from Karen, I don't think. But Giselle looks really good for her age. Karen couldn't make it because she had a fever. So we had Cherise, Robin, and Giselle, and then later on we had Wendy, Mia, and Candace come in. None of the friend ofs made it, like a Scholar or Jacqueline or even the new Deborah girl who was a friend with Ashley, but none of them made it. But I thought the little heels class was so cute. The girls was getting it, except for Robin. Ooh, Robin can't dance, child, and some people ain't got it, but I don't even know if Robin got rhythm. Robin was struggling. I was like, ooh, goodness, Lord help him. So Giselle, when they first came in, Giselle talked about, of course, the divorce and why is Ashley buying a house with Michael, which I want to know too. But at this point, I'm like, girl, whatever, because I don't even believe the divorce story. But Ashley did mention on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen that she is 6 months into her separation. So we'll see in another 6 months if she goes through with it. Not that I'm wishing for nobody to have a divorce. I just kind of don't believe Ashley. I don't know if she really wants to be rid of Michael Darby, honey. So who knows? But Giselle was like, who buys a house with the guy that they're getting ready to divorce? Now, Ashley brought up a good point. She was like, well, didn't you go back to Jamal? Giselle was like, yeah, 15 years later, girl, it don't matter. You went back with a man who had 6, 7, 11, 12,000 kids on you while y'all were married. So, you can't really say anything about it, even though I don't agree with buying a house with somebody who you in a divorce. But child, that's why I don't believe it's actually going to be a divorce. But child, anyway, but Ashley got it with that one. She got a good jab in with that one, bringing up Jamal whack self. So, the girls do their dance or whatever. And after the routines and stuff, Giselle brings Candace to the side because Giselle wants to talk about something that happened with Chris after the reunion last year. Giselle says that Chris came up to her and wanted to speak to her privately, I guess about Candace, because she did mention that he was complaining about Candace within the conversation. But Giselle was like, yeah, we can go back to my dressing room. You know, my glam team is there, so we can talk there. Then when Giselle gets to the dressing room, she notices that her glam team is not there. At that point, if you knew that you don't like to be alone in the room with a married man and you noticed that your glam team was not there, then you could have just said to Chris, hey, maybe we can meet up another time when people are present, or when my glam team gets back. I'll text you when my glam team gets back and we can talk then. I feel like that would have cleared it and you wouldn't have to be in an uncomfortable situation. There was a way to get around the uncomfortableness because you were actually willing to talk to Chris. So it's not that he himself made you uncomfortable, it's that you were alone with him, which I understand. Again, we talk about optics. I understand the optics of it, but once you seen that your glam team wasn't in the room, then you could have said, hey, let's meet up another time. Or is it that she wanted Chris to actually initiate, well, since no one else is present, let's talk another time? But I think Chris was just trying to talk to her on a friend-to-friend basis. Granted, I'm not taking up for Chris. If Giselle felt uncomfortable, then okay, she's valid in feeling that way. But Candace asked her, well, did he say anything? Did he do anything that was inappropriate? She was like, no, he didn't say anything. He didn't do anything. So I guess the only part, what I gathered, the only part that made her feel uncomfortable was the fact that she was alone in the room with him, which I understand that, but you didn't have to be alone in the room with him. You could have said, hey, let's meet up another time. That's just my 2 cents, but I thought that it could have cleared it. So, of course, Candace gets upset because this is now the second allegation against Chris that somebody's trying to insinuate that he's doing something inappropriate. So Candace storms off calling for somebody named Eric, who is a producer, I guess. And she was like, you know, we got Michael Darby for the inappropriateness. Don't try to bring that over to my husband, Chris. And I thought that was funny because Ashley was standing right there or sitting close. So I'm sure she heard it. But, I mean, Ashley know how inappropriate Michael is, even though she, you know, take up for him. But she ain't a fool. I hope. I hope she not a fool. So anyway, that is the end of the episode. We leave off with another cliffhanger, another to be continued. And I'm like, I don't really like all these to be continueds already, especially when we get to the next episode and it's dull. It didn't even warrant the to be continued because nothing happened. So I probably am going to have the same sentiments for episode 3. We're going to come off from the to be continued and it's going to be boring. But that's the end of it. Catch me next week as we review episode 3 of Real Housewives of Potomac. Thank you for watching. Bye.